Aloha, everyone. So, today I would like to suggest to you three podcasts that have changed my life, definitely for the better. I wanted to start off with a classic to me, which is This American Life with Ira Glass. I think the reporting is exceptional, the storytelling is phenomenal, and you always get an insider scoop into little niches of the American experience that you probably never thought of before, which is great for mind expanding and thinking of things in a whole other way, which I am all in favor of. The next is one simply entitled Naval by a guy named Naval Ravikant. I actually heard about his podcast when he was a guest on the Joe Rogan Experience. One of my favorite lines that he said, it's somebody else's line, but he reiterated it, was every person has two lives, and the second life begins the moment we realize that we only have one life. So he talks about economics, he talks about finance, two things that I'm not necessarily savvy in. However, he also talks about the philosophy of these aspects of money and business. And the even better news is that he puts it in short 4-minute segments. So you're not blasted with a whole hour of just numbers and facts. And it's really compelling, crams a lot of information into a short span of time, and you really walk away just thinking, I could get this. And then finally, I am a huge advocate and fan of Armchair Expert with Dax Shepard and Monica Padman. And what do I love about the Armchair Expert? Well, what don't I love about it? Dax Shepard is an actor. He's married to Kristen Bell. He's been in Parenthood and Without a Paddle, just a bunch of stuff. And this podcast has really made me a big fan of his. He also talks about being in Alcoholics Anonymous, what that experience has done for him, and his sidekick, known as Monica Padman, or Mighty Mouse. She's kind of like the buffer that keeps him on the straight and narrow to some degree, but at the end of each podcast, they have a segment called the Fact Check, where Monica will go through and, almost like a list, check off certain things that she fact-checked, basically, that came up in the podcast. Really entertaining. Their energy between each other is fantastic. Really makes an hour, sometimes 2 hours fly by. There are a few of my favorite guests. There are many. One was Craig T. Nelson, just phenomenal. A few suggestive guest appearances on Armchair Expert that I would offer to you would be Elizabeth Gilbert. She wrote Eat, Pray, Love. Phenomenal interview. She gave so many insights into what it is like to be a writer, but also a human being, and she describes how to befriend your fear, talk gently to it. I highly recommend this podcast episode. Another is a doctor by the name of Esther Perel. She's a psychotherapist, and she's written a few New York best time selling books, one called The State of Affairs and another one entitled Mating in Captivity. Very compelling guest. There's another aspect of Armchair Expert. It's another sideshow, if you will, where they call it Experts on Expert, and they have an expert such as Esther Perel come on and bestow just a wealth of knowledge in such a small amount of time. And another segment that really kind of took me back to my own Hollywood days is an appearance by Kal Penn. You would know him as Kumar on Harold and Kumar, but he's also had a phenomenal run in the Obama administration, and he worked with youth, and really interesting guy to listen to. I think you'll really enjoy his episode as well. But you don't have to take my word for it. I recommend downloading Naval, This American Life, and Armchair Expert to begin your journey into just filling your mind with really useful information. I know we all have limited time these days, so I'm suggesting these podcasts as a way to really crunch a bunch of information into a really entertaining hour or even 4 minutes in the case of Naval's podcast. And with that, I wish you all an awesome weekend and aloha.